And in Indiana, you have to have what's called a relaxing lock on your snare. So supposedly, when the animal quits pulling, the lock will not tighten up anymore. Now there are different kinds of snare restraints, okay, and in different states, some places they want you to kill the animal with the snare. For instance, out west where the trap check is up to 72 hours, they don't want that animal alive in a snare. It's kind of a misnomer because a lock locks, right? It doesn't relax. It doesn't unlock itself, okay? But there are different kinds of relaxing locks, and each and every manufacturer has a different. This happens to be a washer lock on here. There are several different brands. This is a typical washer lock snare that you can make. If you want to buy one of these snares, they're maybe $1.50 a piece. The manufacturers sell them by the dozen. You can order them however you want them. You can order whatever kind of lock you want on them. You can order a swivel on the end or a loop on the end. Any way that you want your snare, you can have it, okay? On there and just hang it down. I've heard of some guys using paper clips. Straighten out a paper clip to hang a snare on there, okay? If you want to catch that animal and move it away from the fence, then you need to put your snare on a slide wire and put a stake out 10 feet away from the fence so that when you catch him under there, he'll wander out here to the end of that loop, and you'll have him out here and he won't tear up your fence setting there. So you can do it. That's just a little something that you learn after a while. The easiest way that I found to set a bunch of snares, especially for raccoons in trails and coyotes in trails out in the woods, you're going to find a deer trail, you're going to find some kind of a rabbit trail, a coon trail, every animal follows a trail. I mean, if there's a trail out there, every animal that goes through that woods is going to be on that trail sooner or later. If you've got nothing to hang it on, you need to take your own stake. And down along a pond or a river bank where we typically do beaver, we carry these stakes with us. And we call this a pigtail here, a pigtail support. As you can see, you can buy these or you can make your own. This is number 9 wire. It's soft wire. It's annealed so that you can bend it real easily, okay? Fence wire, brace wire that you would build a fence with is too stiff. It's just very unhandy to use. So not every place sells soft wire like this.
Coat hangers.
Coat hangers would work okay. They're a little bit smaller in diameter, but that's fine. I'll show you a couple of different kinds of support collars. But what we're going to do is take our stake, and you know how Byron said, you have a coon pull a real long stake out. Well, typically if you're using a snare, I use 5-foot long ones. That animal is going to be 5 foot from the stake, and they rarely ever pull a stake out of the ground when they've got that much area to pull sideways on. Now, if they could jump 5 foot straight up, then they might be able to jack it up out of the ground. But it's very rare to lose a stake. Now, in a soft riverbank, I'll use 30 inchers. In the woods where it's really hard and a bunch of rocks, we tend to use a shorter stick. So that's the support wire that we use right here. You take your snare, and you can have them with swivels on the end or not. It's your choice. It depends on the situation that you're in. If you are trying to keep that animal alive, don't want an entanglement situation, you're better off to have a swivel on your stake along. the cable will swivel in there. Okay, this one does not have that. But you're going to drive this in the ground, you're going to bend it around to look like this. You can carry, we probably, as we were out in the woods with this, we'd probably put some sticks in the ground over here and over here to make sure that he goes right and puts his head right through our snare. Some people hang a little grass on top of them as a little camouflage. It's not totally necessary. As you can see, brand new cable is pretty shiny when you get it. Now, when I make these into new snares, I'm going to soak these in baking soda and some soap, and we're going to take the glare off of this, and it'll make it more dull like this. Doesn't shine quite as much to get their attention. Wintertime, some guys spray paint them white to match, to blend with the snow, but I haven't really found it that snares. I hate wearing out my pants and my coveralls, so I usually wear some knee pads, so I'm kneeling down and take care of that. You got to have a fairly good sized hammer to pound your stakes in with. Cable cutters is a very desirable thing to have. You can cut cable with a good pair of side cuts, but it dulls them up a little faster than the cable cutter does. Cable cutter will last you longer. Don't look like how they
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Is there requirements in the state for what you can or can't trap with snares? Like put this up in the tree for squirrels, little things like that?
You can snare anything that you want to. Now, if you set a snare with a circumference of more than, I think it's 15 inches, you have to have written permission on the property to do it.
Okay.
Okay, that's in our logbook.
Okay.
I think it's 15 inches, and that would be more than 15 inches, that circle. Okay, so
you're talking about 15 inches circumference?
Yes, circumference.
Okay.
Right. So if you're setting for coyotes or beaver, you're going to have written permission on that property to do it.
Okay.
If I was going to set this for beaver, you know, instead of having 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches up off the ground, I would try and catch that beaver around the shoulders. I'd increase that loop size. I'd move it down to about 1 inch from the ground, like that. And then we take and make just a little bit of a bend down in here to make it wider for the beaver to slip through. And generally speaking, you'll catch that beaver around behind his front legs. Okay, fur buyers don't like that. They don't like that mark around the beaver hide. They will downgrade it, but if that's the way you need to catch your beaver, that's just what you do. Prices wise, doesn't really matter a whole lot on a beaver pelt anyway. They're not worth all that much.
As far as the beavers, you put that on a slide somewhere, like as it goes.
Well, you can put them, generally speaking, on us, you know, where they're coming in and out of the water. I usually set one right on the edge of the water, and then another one up on the bank, and maybe even another one further up on the bank, maybe 10 feet apart.
Okay.
And you may catch all 3 beaver that are coming up there.
Okay.
Because the first one will be in the bottom one maybe, and the second one, and then the third one. We do multiple catches.
You've got game trails that everything's using, but if you find a trail where, say, it's crossing a ditch, and a lot of times you'll find a trail and you go, oh man, that's where all the coons are going. Well, and you look at it, and that trail's flat and got some sides on it, and the ground's all chopped up. That's a deer trail, because they've got sharp hooves. You find that trail that's got a round bottom, and there ain't no dirt kicked up, it's just everything's been mashed down, and the trail's round, that's a coon trail, or a coyote trail. But those trails are like, if you ever been out in a cow pasture and seen a cow path, you know, it's kind of notched out, it's this wide and it's flat and there's a lot of dirt in it because those hooves have turned it up, that's a deer trail. You want to try to stay away from those anyway. But those round bottom trails, those are your coon trails and your coyote trails that the deer aren't really using that.